This is the 1995 Nissan Primera P10. We're going to examine and to test the operation of the seat belts of the driver, the co-driver and the rear passenger seats after 28 years and 2 months of existence and driving operation of the automobile. Come, let's see. So, as we're entering the main driver's seats, we can see that we have to adjust the driver's seats in a proper position of distance towards the steering wheel for the best handling of the steering wheel itself and the available space for the movements of the hands and the legs. So as we adjust into the driver's seats and have as well adjusted the headrests onto an up reclining distance from the main back height in order for the head to be protected into rear collisionary hits, as the head will bump up backwards. The headrest must be a little upraised in order to cover the whole of the head and not to be completely below. We're going to examine the driver's seat's seat belt, that, as you can see, it is adjustable by the height. It can go very low, it can go very high, and the proper position for a guy like me at 1 meter 94 centimeters, approximately 6.2 or 6.3 feet, has to be on the maximum height of basic installment, the modulator of the seatbelt height. And for other heights there is a variation of up to about 10-15 centimeters for the height of the modulator of the seatbelt height. So as we are locking on the seatbelt, it extends and it locks onto the clicker. Sometimes, because of the old age of the seatbelts, they have never been replaced or refreshed. Sometimes the penetrating rod is missing the clicker and it goes out. but mainly if you are careful to adjust it properly, it will never go out, like in this case. So it's a seat belt that has the proper pressure on the main front of the body, and it will automatically straighten, tensified when a very big acceleration of the car will happen, either as a stoppage or in more rare cases, in actual very rare cases, for a big acceleration that for this car is some way very distant reality, at least. So this is the driver's seat. We are pressing the button of release and we adjust the seat belt to its position that automatically it restrains. Okay, this about the driver's seat. Let's see about the co-driver's seat belt, how it handles. And so, as we are positioning into the co-driver's seat position, we have to take care that the distance of our legs to the main dash is in a proper distance, that in a collision or in a movement of the dash towards the body will not it will not press the legs. Okay, so the actual co-driver's formation of the belt, it is also manually adjusting to a height again of 10 to 15 centimeters. For the tall persons, the manipulator must be adjusted to on the highest position. For lower height people, has go downwards. And so, for me, that, as I told you, I'm quite tall, I'm adjusting to the highest position. And positioning the seat belt, this is really no problem. We're adjusting to the base receiver and we're clicking in. Mainly this seat belt of the co-driver is faultless. It has never had any problems. Okay, and so we have an actual main belly surrounding rod, and we have an actual main front of the chest coverage of the seat belt, like all the seat belts of the cars in the world. And I can assure you that the seat belts are still very effective. They're holding on the body very tight to the seat when necessary. Okay, and we have to remember that we have to have it on the proper modulator position by the control mechanism of the height of the seat belt. Okay, and so the main belts for the driver and the co-driver are adjusted on the column of the middle of the car. Going now to the rear seats, we can say that, assuring that we have a proper distance for the legroom of the rear passenger, not in my case, it is some way comfortable but not completely. We have also rear back seat belts for the rear passengers, and especially for the right seat, the rear back seat, the rear back right seat, we have an adjusting seat belt that commences from this actual point. It is based on the dash of the rear window, and it expands only for the actual chest and belly as an actual angle formation to be properly put. In a second I will show you. To be properly put as we release the base locker, to be adjusted the clicker on the base formation. And so it's a very workable, very operational, and very effective to its tightening seat belt. Also for the rear back seater to the right. Okay, here is a view of the co-driver's modulator of the height of the belt. And now we're moving to the left side of the rear passenger seat, that as well we have a proper distance of the legs to the front seat, and to the base of the dash of the rear window in front of the rear speakers. We have the adjusting base of a seatbelt that extends very comfortably to the left side of the back seat, and again it extends for us to have a lock-on to the base receiver. Come on. And so it locks on. We have to take care that the rod of the seat belt is not bending, is not twisting, and it's properly adjusted to with its full height to the main body of the chest and the main body of the belly. For this reason why I have to do this. Okay, and so it's properly adjusted. And finally, after realizing the four main seat belts for the driver, co-driver, and the rear passengers to the right and to the left, we have also a main seat belt utility that starts from the rear left back seat a little to the center, poised, that it is only horizontal formation of the seat belt that adjusts to the right base receiver and, to the right base receiver. Come on. It adjusts maybe to the left. We have a main central position of the seat belt that's horizontal, and is adjusting it has to adjust somewhere, and I'm going to find out. If this is, for instance, let's try to adjust it to the main hole here and see. There is something like a mismatch, because it has this little tooth, and I would say that there is this little previous inside the formation of the hole of the inhaler. That was a third positioning receiver of the belt. We have one for the left rear passenger. We have one for the right rear passenger, and there is a third one for the central seating passengers that mainly are baby strollers, and it perfectly, as I suspect, it perfectly clicks on. So the missing point in my failure so far was that was a third receiver seat belt for the main central one. Okay, so this is the whole formation of the seat belts that thankfully, after 28 years of maintenance, they are still operational into the car, and we are grateful to God for this. And we can readjust the clickers, the base clickers, to their rear position, to the right ones, the central, and to the left one. Okay, and we can, this has an extensive mechanism of unleashing more length for the seat belt, for the central positioning, for the strollers or anything as a small child that has small height, and we're leaving it in this axial. We're leaving it in this axial formation. Okay, so this is the whole story about the seat belts of the Nissan Primera P10. I suspect of all the models of the P10 that this particular is the facelift of 1995. Having locked the doors, this has been some exhibition of the workability of all seat belts, co-driver, rear, co-driver, rear left, rear right, and central rear passenger seats. Thank you very much.